One of the biggest mistakes people make in life is to expect improvement without intentional effort. That is why we're going to talk about how to optimize yourself in order to reach your full potential. Welcome back to my channel. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become better at communication, more disciplined, healthier, or more successful. Growth isn't random, it is structured. So if you want to upgrade your life, you have to treat self-improvement like a system, a process of continuously assessing, refining, and optimizing yourself. And that is what this video is about, how to grow step by step. Growth is an ongoing process, and the better the system you have, the better and faster you'll grow. So let's talk about the 3 steps that I use in order to optimize myself. The first step is self-assessment, knowing where you stand. The first step to optimize anything, whether it's your business, your skill, or even your body, is to understand where you are right now. Most people think they know who they are, but real growth actually requires intentional reflection, and it's actually also an ongoing process. We human beings change every few years, and there's always going to be some new parts in ourselves or some other parts that die off. That's why self-reflection is a very, very crucial part. There are multiple ways how to learn about yourself. First of all is, of course, feedback from the external world, from relationships, from friendships, or from your working environment. But another part that actually benefited me a lot personally are personality tests. Personality tests aren't about putting yourself in a box, it's more about recognizing specific patterns and having wordings to specific things that you already knew about yourself, you just never really knew how to define it. So here are my top 5 personality tests that gave me personally a lot of insights about myself, but also about other people. The first one is the Myers-Briggs test that shows you how you process information, how you interact with the world, and how you make decisions. The second one is the Big 5 personality test, which is actually used a lot in criminal psychology. It's also called the Ocean test because it will give you an objective view about your openness, your conscientiousness, your extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, so your emotional stability. Then the attachment styles, which really helps you to understand how your childhood has impacted your relationship patterns and attachment styles now, and how you deal with emotional closeness, what are your triggers, and so on. Your Enneagram for your motivation and fears, and the DISC test for your leadership and your career style. The goal isn't to live by these tests, but to use them as a tool for self-awareness. Once you do those tests, and try to do them on a regular basis, because sometimes your mood or how your day went can really impact your results. But I personally, for example, for my Myers-Briggs test, I took this test on a regular basis through almost 3 months, and I only accepted my result once I had the same result non-stop with no other result in between. So once you read your results, ask yourself and reflect a little. Which parts of me do I see in this result? Which parts of me are helping me grow and which ones are limiting me? What strengths should I double down on and which weaknesses should I work on? Self-awareness is literally the foundation of all self-improvement, because if you don't understand where you're standing right now, you will not know which direction to go in order to upgrade yourself. The second step is then to identify key stats that matter to you, to prioritize. The way I view self-optimization, stick with me guys, because it might sound a little bit weird, is that I actually view my life as a video game and I am the main character, so a protagonist in this video game. And you know how in video games, the protagonist, the character that you play, always has certain stats, right? Because there's the magician, for example, who is more intelligent. Then there's a very strong person like the tank who has very strong physical strength. Then there's a person who is the long distance shooter, for example, or the healer who has different strengths than the other characters. So you have to know and decide for yourself, okay, what are your current strengths and weaknesses, and what are the key stats that matter the most to you? And you also know how in video games you have to level up those certain key stats in order to level up to the next level. I don't know if this example resonates with you. It's probably because I'm INTJ, so I'm very strategic and very analytical about things, and I like to view things from a third person, from a bird's view, the bigger picture. So if you were creating the best version of yourself, which stats would you like to focus on? If health is your priority, for example, then maybe focus on diet and nutrition, exercise and mobility, and your emotional and mental well-being. If relationships are important to you, you focus on emotional intelligence, communication and conflict resolution, as well as attachment styles and love languages. If success and career growth matters to you, then you work on high income skills, networking and social skills, as well as discipline and productivity. Once you know the most important areas that you want to focus on your growth, you will also know which daily habits to push towards your goal. Through this, you are literally designing the blueprint of your success, and optimization will become systematic and intentional. Step number 3 is then to test and track your progress, because once you know what you want to optimize, you're able to test yourself. Because real growth doesn't just happen in theory, it happens through action. And the best way to do it is to push yourself into uncomfortable situations. If you want to work on your confidence, then maybe train being uncomfortable. If you're improving discipline, set and stick to your daily habits. If you're developing social skills, put yourself in social situations and speak up and approach other people, even if it feels awkward. And also document your achievements. Most people go through life and go through growth without documenting their progress, and then they feel like they're not really growing. We cannot have that. Keep a running list of your small wins, document every single time you push through discomfort, and document your growth so you can see some proof of your progress. When you track your journey, you don't actually just feel like you're making progress, you actually have evidence for it, and evidence will build confidence. Your life is yours to upgrade. You can stay the same, repeat the same habits, and make excuses for yourself. Or you can decide that today is the day you start upgrading yourself. Assess where you are, choose the key stats that matter the most to you, push yourself into challenges that force you to grow, and track your wins so you stay motivated. Because no one is going to level up for you. You have to control your own growth, your own mindset, and your own success. And when you do that, you stop waiting for progress to happen, you create it. If you ever feel stuck, come back to this video to remind yourself that you are able to upgrade your life. Also remember to like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs it. See you in my next one. Mwah!